dear.
Hey,
Hey, hello everyone. How are you?
hey, come on in.
Right, go on then, Alan.
Oh, I've gone large all of a sudden. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I hope you're going to have a wonderful time this evening. I'm Alan from my narrowboat venture. I'm moored in Yelvertoft Marina, which is on the Leicester section of the Grand Union Canal, which is a single width canal in the sense that the locks either end are a single width. My channel covers cruising, DIY, walks, talks, occasional road trips. It's quite a varied channel, and other matters related to water like pumping stations and things of that nature. Good to have you all here.
Well, hello, I'm Gary, Captain Phillips, and that's the name of my channel. And I live on my boat called Chuggabug with my two dogs, Chip and Dale, two chihuahuas. Basically, at the moment, I'm stuck in Tattenhall Marina. And my vlogs are really, at the moment, based on my life on the boat and marina life. And really, that's it. Not a lot more to say.
Hi, everybody. I'm the Master of Ceremonies, which is a great title for people that make a complete cock-up of everything during the course of the evening and get blamed for it. So it's great to have you aboard. I'm Ian, and as I say, my channel is Narrowboat Tales. I do everything that those two do, really, except I do it better. Anyway.
Oh. Come on now, Ian.
Let's turn down the gauntlet. Hey guys, come on then. Let's get on with the show then. Yay!
Remember where you're moored. You're only moored over the road from me, so you watch yourself.
Just some quick
it's all right for
hellos.
Alan. He's miles away.
Yeah. What?
Hello,
Yeah,
Stuart. Hello, Susan. I've just realised I've just switched the comments on.
Hi, Trevor.
Yeah, unfortunately, folks, I can't read the comments.
Hi, Kat.
See the comments.
Hi, Bob.
Right.
Hi, Lee.
Now,
Squirrel Linda. Hi.
for the benefit of our viewers who are wondering where the fourth member is, our dear friend Steve is currently in hospital recovering from COVID. He can't be with us obviously tonight for obvious reasons, but he is on the mend. He is getting better, and he sends you all his good greetings, and he will be with us in next month, I'm sure. Now,
I think can we raise a glass to him? I think. What do you reckon?
I think we should. Yeah.
Yes, to Steve.
And Steve, if you're watching, mate, if you're watching, Steve, we're all with you. All the best.
Yeah.
All the best, Steve.
And Chris too, who's holding the
of
fort.
course, yeah, Chris.
Yeah.
No, I was going to do another toast to Chris, so we can have another slurp after.
Oh, you mean you want two slurps?
Yeah. I'll have another slurp now then.
What's happening down in Yelvertoft, Alan? Then what's the latest news from Yelvertoft?
Latest news. Well, I don't think there's any gossip or anything like that. It's very quiet here. There's very few people around. In fact, people keep asking me, "Am I the only one here?" Because they don't really see anyone on my vlogs. But there are a number of people here. It's not a residential marina, so there aren't that many, and boaters cannot visit at the moment because of the lockdown restrictions, both imposed by the government and by CRT, the Canal and River Trust. I do have something interesting coming up for my viewers at the end of the week, which is a little bit different, and it does involve a boat movement.
Wow.
I'll tell you now what it is so that you can look forward to seeing it. But last week I was asked with another person who's here at the marina, who we both volunteer for the Canal and River Trust, asked to go down to Watford Staircase locks and see a boat through. And I took the opportunity to film that with the permission of the boaters. It's a bit of a one-off, and I wanted to make sure they were happy. So not necessarily my next vlog, but by the weekend there will be a vlog out showing the passage through the locks, not only showing it, but explaining it step by step, which is difficult to do when I actually pass through the locks on my boat, either going down or up. You just see shots from the boat. But here I was on the sidelines, as it were, and I was filming the boat going through the locks as well as helping with the locks. I have to point that out. So, but I did manage to get quite a lot of good film, and I can
Did you get a cup of tea,
all
Alan?
about red and white paddles. So look out for that at the weekend.
Did you get a cup of tea?
We didn't have time to make tea. Oh, you mean from the boaters?
Yes.
No, we were busy. Everyone was busy because it was a couple, and she was helping and he was steering, so no time for making tea.
Yeah.
But apart
I couldn't
from
get that
it's
message
been
then,
pretty
Ian.
quiet. Sorry, Gary?
I couldn't get that message then, Ian.
Oh, it was from Bob, I think, saying, "Hey, Steve, get well soon."
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
It's been very windy here today. Literally waves on the water, not ripples, but it's been the windiest I can ever recall. The boat has been rocking. I did go out for a walk, which was really great fun. I would like to say, I don't actually know if she's watching, but I was sent some lovely mittens by Tracy.
Know.
And I'm very pleased with these. One type is open at the end, and the good thing about these is you can tuck your hands away inside them, your fingers away inside them if you want to. But they're absolutely great, and I have used those today.
Can you, Alan?
Fingerless mitts, which
Alan, can you put some buttons on those other mitts? And then you could do. When I was a kid, we used to watch a program on telly, and they used to do that with their hands, like hand puppets.
I've got a sock for that purpose.
Oh, they're
Was
not.
that Finger Mouse? Do you remember Finger Mouse? I remember Finger Mouse.
Now remember Danger Mouse.
Oh, but yeah,
So,
I used to love
anyway,
Danger Mouse.
I'm trying to have a sensible conversation. Thank you very much, Tracy. I'm very pleased with these. I hope you're watching. Means a great deal to me. Thank you so much.
They're lovely. They're lovely, and the beauty of those as well, Alan, is if
Hand
you are
knitted.
filming, you can do the camera and everything when you film with it.
Very much so. Yeah,
that's good.
really
So,
delighted with those.
Gary, there must be some other boaters, and I can see some of their names coming up here, who might be interested to know what the current state of play is with our breach.
Well, yeah, we've been updated with the breach. The breach has been, apparently they've built a dam around the breach now. They built the dam out of gravel and concrete, apparently, and it seems to be holding up. And the word we got today was they're letting a couple of boats through at a time. I think they're waiting because the locks up here are double locks. You can get 2 boats in. So I think the CRT are waiting until they've got 2 boats and then periodically letting them through, because of course you've got a lock either side. You've got the iron lock at Beeston and you've got Wharton's lock. So if you're using those locks with the water flow, it's going to put pressure on the dam. So I think the CRT are very sensibly being very, very careful with it. But I believe there's movement allowed a little bit So don't all come flood. Well, nobody can move anywhere at the moment, except for emergency travel. But obviously, people do need to be in places for hospital appointments or appointments. And there's a lot of boats trapped on this end of the Shropshire Union at the moment. So there's a lot of boats trying to get out there for appointments and stuff. So it's good news on the breach. Unfortunately, and Ian knows this, we've had very fluctuating water levels here in the marina. So, Alan, you're saying the boat's rocking. Trust me, we've had to have our lines quite loose because the water's going up and down a matter of 3 or 4 inches, sometimes more. So we've had to have our lines pretty loose. So we're getting pulled away from the pontoons and then banged up against it again. But they're wooden pontoons. They're not going to do any damage to the boats. The pontoons are pretty sound. So it's just a rocky ride, but it's all right. It's nice. Rocks you to sleep sometimes.
We're the same here, actually.
It is. The water's changing.
Yeah,
so we're the same here because we had a problem before Christmas where the water levels rose. I reckoned at least 8 inches up to 12 inches, and all the mooring lines were slackened off, and they've been left slack just in case there is a recurrence. So this also aids the boat rocking.
I had a new cratch cover fitted to my boat today, and the wind has been howling across directly onto my bow. And since the cratch cover's been on there, it's been absolutely amazing. The heat in here has gone really sky high. I'm wearing a summer t-shirt and shorts. Amazing, the heat change just by blocking.
What a frightening thought! What a frightening thought!
It's okay. I'm not going to stand up. You're all right.
Oh dear! Mind you, if I was to wear, I put on a vlog. If I was to wear a grass skirt with my legs, it would look like a heron's fallen through the nest. So no, I do wear shorts, but it has to be very hot for me to wear shorts. I look like I'm on stilts. And then my legs.
I wear shorts. Yeah, when the summer comes, I wear nothing else but shorts. Yeah. Need to get.
Sorry, I've got a friend asking if I could send the link. She's trying desperately to find the channel, and she needs the link. So bear with me.
All right. I'm getting complaints because I'm not wearing my hat square. Well, this is how I wear my hat, I'm afraid.
Well, that's surprising. With your head, you should have a square hat.
Stuart has asked whether the CRT are doing more maintenance than normal, taking advantage of lack of boating on the cut. That's an interesting question because most boaters are signed up to email notifications. You can select what particular canals you're interested in, some of them or all of them. I'm not signed up to all of them, but I am signed up to the ones local to me and the Shropshire and 1 or 2 others. And the one thing I've noticed is that there are lots of issues all the time. I'm not talking about regular maintenance works, but you get issues with a single lock, you get a tree fallen. The CRT are very good. Normally within 24 hours, a tree is gone. They get problems with locks. They've had one recently through a silt build-up. I suppose the silt is built up because there is no boat movement and water movement. And that particular lock, they were hoping to clear it with just a normal working party, but they've got to get a dredging boat in. So apart from the normal winter works, there are a lot of other works going on because boaters aren't moving, if you follow what I'm saying. The fact that there is no movement of the water is causing other issues. And it is the time of year with the high winds that trees will fall and cause issues. But there aren't any works that I'm familiar with down my neck of the woods. Both Foxton locks and Watford locks have had extensive works in the last couple of years. And Buckby locks has had works on them as well. And a couple of years ago, Braunston locks had some works on them. So I'm not aware of anything big going on down my neck of the woods. I don't know what you two guys, obviously we've got the Shropshire problem, but I don't know about anything else.
Yeah, we've had a few problems.
Yeah, right the way along the whole length of the Shropshire, isn't it, Gary?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and on the Middlewich branch of the Shropshire Union, it was closed, I think, just north of Venetia Marina. They had scaffolding up across under a bridge. They were strengthening a bridge. And then, of course, we had a problem at Audlam. But I know the CRT are working flat out through this lockdown. But on the first lockdown, there was only 2 CRT working because of layoffs and furlough and everything. And they were covering all the way from Ellesmere Port there by the Manchester Ship Canal and the Mersey, all the way down to Audlam, I think it was. And there was only 2 lockies covering that stretch. We weren't supposed to move, I know that, but boaters did have to move for essential travel, for rubbish, else, and water and everything. So they still have to try and maintain it. But I think this time they're all working flat out. I'm not one to down the CRT. I quite support them. I like the work they do, and I think they do a marvelous job. But I think it's going to be crazy when they do finally lift the lockdown for us boaters, when we can get moving, because this is the prime time now where all the trees are growing, springtime. So you've got all the weeds growing, the trees growing, you've got everything. It's just going to grow and fill the canals. So I think there's going to be a lot of time cutting back, I think, for the CRT. When
you
when
can't see it, Gary. You can't see it, but there's a message from Steve on there in answer to a question.
Oh, brilliant. What is it?
Steve?
Oh, there he is. Oh, Steve. Brilliant, mate.
Yeah, can I just quickly say hi to Ruth and her sister, who are both very cute.
Oh,
they keep
Steve,
telling me.
Mate. I'm glad he's watching. I'm really, really pleased. It's nice to think he's there watching.
Yeah.
Good on you, mate. Good on you.
Rumour has it that he's got a couple of nurses by the side of him looking after him, and they're all watching us together.
Well, from what I've heard off Chris, he's been chatting to the nurses.
Yeah, chatting to them. Yeah, so give them our love too, Steve.
Yeah, doing a marvellous job. Brilliant. Well done. Well done. Proud of you, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we're getting loads and loads of messages coming on. Everybody's asking, where are the wide beamers? Anybody know what wide beamers are?
What's a wide beam? What's a wide beam? Chip?
What's a wide
Chip,
beam?
do you know what a wide beam is?
Yeah.
No.
No, I don't know any wide beamers on here.
No idea.
No.
Alan?
Hi, Lynn.
Alan?
Hi, Carol.
Are you interested what
Hi,
a beam
Barbara.
is?
Hi, Trev. What? Sorry. Wide
Are you
beamers?
interested what a wide beam is? What's a wide beam?
It's a car, isn't it? A beamer. Isn't that what they call them in America?
Yeah.
Beamers.
Yeah.
What we call a
German
BMW
things.
over here, they call a beamer in America.
Beamers.
So a wide beamer must be a very wide car, I would think.
Oh, looks like our guests have arrived. They're in the green room. Why is it called a green room? Anybody know why it's called a green room? No idea. No. Let me see if I can do some magic around here. Oh, no. Hang on.
No, that didn't work, did it? Try your other finger.
Hey!
That worked.
Oh.
Good evening.
Hey!
Hello.
How are you?
Alan.
Welcome, you two.
Hang on.
Alan.
Oh,
You in there?
there we go.
Just to put you in the picture, Alan, it's not just about length, it's about girth.
Good. I'm with you. This is a respectable
As we've been
show,
corrected, Alan,
that.
65 foot of girth.
No, of length.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Come on, Gary.
That's where I've been going wrong, Mark. That's where I've been going wrong, mate.
The canal's not wide enough for that, Gary.
No.
Well, good evening to you both.
Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Lovely that you can join us. We got one burning question. Why doesn't Julie drive the boat?
I think I'm too scared, really. That's it. It's it's 65
I don't blame
foot
you,
long.
Jules. I'd be scared.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what length
foot.
and width your boat is, so that viewers understand what you're dealing with, as opposed to a narrowboat?
It's 65 foot long and it's 11 foot wide. And
in meters?
It's about 20 metres long.
20 metres?
I know the answer, but
yeah, he tried to catch us out there.
It's like being asked questions at your maths test, isn't it?
So it's 65 feet by 11 feet. So it's nearly double not quite, but obviously nearly double a standard narrowboat, which is
Yeah.
nearly 7 feet, so 6 foot 10 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I must admit, I really struggle to see the front of the boat when I'm at the back. So I could probably do with a step or something, and then I might be all right.
Well, so did
So do
Mark.
I.
You just haven't noticed it.
Gary struggles to see the back of the boat.
You cheeky bugger. No, I'm all right with the boat. People say to me, how do you cope with your eyesight? Well, obviously, everyone knows I've got an eyesight issue at the moment. But I cope fine. It does. I'm used to driving. Driving was my life. I used to train driving. I'm a defensive driving instructor. I've trained the police. I've done training with heavy goods. That's my life has been driving. So I'm used to driving fast, slow, anything. 4 mile an hour. It's not hard. And I can see exactly what's coming up. And I use little monoculars. I've got one here. These little things, little monoculars. So you can still steer the boat. You can focus with one finger so you can look just what's coming up. It's all about planning what's coming up ahead, really. And at 2, 3, 4 mile an hour, it's not a problem. And everybody's seen me. Ian's seen me maneuver the boat, and anybody who watches the vlogs have seen me maneuver the boat. I can handle the boat, but I can handle a narrowboat. And I'm with you there, Julie. I wouldn't be steering that monster you're in either.
So
I'm on about the boat, not Mark.
Yeah. I can say I also have a monocular as well, an older fashioned one, but very useful for looking ahead, particularly when you're approaching a lock or something like that, and you're trying to get a handle on who's doing what. For sole boaters,
they're amazing.
Yeah,
I use a monocle.
Yeah,
use a monocle.
If you're a sole boater and you come up to a lock, there's always boats parked before a lock. And you don't want to push in, and sometimes it's unavoidable because you've got no one with you who can go ahead and suss out the situation and come back and say there's 3 in the queue. And very often you might accidentally pass boats who are queuing, and then people get uptight. So it is good to work out, if you can, what is happening ahead, and a monocular is fine. I have this problem.
They're only cheap.
Off to use it.
They're only cheap as well. You know, you pay less than £20 for a good quality one, and they really are amazing because you can carry on controlling the boat and you can use it, and they're very practical, and I love it. I mean, I could get by without it, but they're brilliant.
Gary, that's because you're a skinflint, and a monocle's half the price of a pair of binoculars because only one of them.
Listen. Oh, I could probably reach them now. I've got a pair of binoculars. Oh, sorry, that's my camera. No, but I have got a pair of binoculars too. But I can't.
Okay. Mark,
what we tend to find.
Sorry, Julie, carry on.
What we tend to find is that Mark steers at the back, obviously, and I stand at the front to see what's coming around the bends, because unlike a narrowboat, it takes a little bit longer to manoeuvre around corners and things like that. So it's always good if somebody's at the front of the boat, just seeing what's coming around the corner.
She's the early warning system.
How do you communicate?
Yeah,
we've got.
There's a couple of hand signals. One involves 2 fingers. One involves 1 finger, and one involves brackets.
That's a narrowboat.
Yeah.
That's a wide beam coming, and that's a canoe.
That's a bridge. That's a bridge.
I love it.
That's a fallen tree.
Have you ever thought of getting a set of walkie-talkies, you two?
We have got some.
We just getting to push the buttons and get cross with each other because we're not pushing the button when we speak.
Well, yeah, been there, done that, Mark. Yeah. Have you got? Can I ask if you got bow thrusters on your boat? And
I have indeed.
Two questions. Have you got bow thrusters? And I do watch your channel, but do you know what? I haven't got a clue what the name of your boat is.
It's called Weir On The Move.
Oh, right. Well, there you go. I didn't know that. No, but I didn't know that.
No, it's all right, Ian. Brian's quite, it's quite good that he wants to ask those questions. I think Brian is... Brian, Captain Phillips, is it?
I'm holding my head in... I didn't know it was called Weir On The Move. I genuinely didn't have a clue.
Yeah. It's not written on the boat, so nobody knows really.
No, it's not written
Right.
there.
So when did you change your name to Weir, Mark? Just
when
to do the
I
vlog.
was when I was born, because it's spelled Weir, which
You
is
are so
Scottish.
lucky. You are so lucky with that name and the life you lead, aren't you? It's perfect.
I am, yeah. Yeah. My middle name is On, and then it's hyphenated with the, and then finally moved, which so I'm Mark
That'll be the
Weir On
Dutch
The
in
Move.
you.
Huh?
That's the Dutch in you, isn't it? Like Vanderbilt.
We've just been asked whether narrowboaters would change to a wide beam in the future.
No.
Do you want me to go first on that?
Yeah,
You don't need to, Alan.
I think what you have to understand is that wide beams are limited to where they can go, because a lot of our canal network are single width canals in the sense that the locks will only take a standard narrowboat. So with regards to having a wide beam, you can go, I think you can go everywhere on the Grand Union Canal, and you can go on the Kennet and Avon Canal. Much more than that, I don't know. But Julie is going to enlighten us in a minute, and she's done a wonderful map, which she'll tell you about. We'll explain where the wide beam routes are. But I think certainly from my point of view, I don't think I would like to handle a wide beam boat, and it would be totally impractical for me. So I'm happy with my narrowboat.
Julie, shall I put you onto a big screen, and would you like to flash up your map?
Okay.
And just so Mark doesn't get left out of it, had Steve been here, we've both been wearing these tonight. So this is just for Mark, so you can show your map. There you go. I've got to do this a bit, haven't I?
We should have waxed ours, Alan. That's beautiful.
Ah,
That's
now,
beautiful.
Is that actually a map, or is that a picture?
So I've painted this one. This one's a watercolor, and it shows everywhere that the wide beams can go. So up to 12'6" wide beams and 70 foot long, and they can go down the south, like you say, the Kennet and Avon Canal, the Grand Union, the River Thames. We can also go out onto the Bristol Channel, up the Gloucester and Sharpness Canal,
all the way to Worcester. Yeah.
But we can't make a jump between the Grand Union from the south and the north. Right. There's just a little tiny section that we actually can't go on.
Near where you are, Alan, near Rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that point where Crick and that is, we can't actually turn up there, which is a real shame, because there is a lot more canals
because of the locks. Yeah.
in the north. Yeah.
I mean, there is always the option. If you've got the money, you could always have lifted and put into the waters up the north. So once you've done the south, if you wanted to change, it doesn't mean you can't still explore. You could just put it on the back of a truck, get a lifted in a marina in the north, and then explore the north. I mean, I know a lot of the waterways around here are wide beam canals, but I wouldn't want to take a wide beam. I mean, I went a couple of years ago up to by the Anderton boat lift, and that's a wide beam canal. There was only room for a narrowboat. Literally, there was room for a narrowboat. And I know some friends of mine were about 2-3 hours in front of me when I was heading towards the Anderton, and they were moving onto the River Weaver, and they were in a wide beam. And as I was going through these, I was thinking to myself, how on earth did they take a wide beam through here? Because you're only just navigating a narrowboat, but there's always the option. So don't think that you can't still explore with a wide beam, but it does limit you a little bit.
Talking about wide beams, Mark and Julie, when you have to pay mooring fees and the like, are they always double the price of a narrow beam, or is there like a percentage increase generally?
I think we first went into a marina when we first moved onto the boat, and the prices doubled
in a year.
So it went up to 9,000, was it? £9,000 for a wide beam. So it tends to be in most marinas double the amount.
Well,
Well,
marinas
that's southern
Yeah,
waters as well.
that's right,
That's
yeah.
southern
Yeah.
waters as well.
Yeah.
So
marinas don't tend to want
You're
wide
taking
because
two
they take up
jetties,
two
aren't you?
spaces.
You're taking a
Yeah.
space of 2 boats. So
Yeah.
why
That's
would they
it.
give it you for half price? You know, it's just the way it is. It's
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. So we've been continuous cruises now since 2018, haven't we?
Yeah.
So and we you know, to be honest, it's the best way to own a wide beam because you get to use it on the canal system, and you don't pay mooring fees. You know, you just pay your license fee. So
yeah.
I did
How does your
follow.
license fee vary, Mark and Julie? How does your license
Well, they
fee
put it
vary
up.
to be narrowboat?
they've put the license fee up incrementally over a 3-year period or 4-year period.
Yeah, well, the narrowboats have gone up. Yeah.
Yeah, but ours are going to go up by 20%. I think yours go up by about 7%. Ours go up by 20%.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Because the CRT, back in the day, the CRT always said, look, wide beams can't do the travel. They can't use the whole network. So therefore, it'd be wrong of us to charge more.
Let's be honest. A lot of people, sorry, Mark, a lot of people don't want to on wide beams. You know, around London area, you get the youngsters and new married couples that can't afford, let's be honest, the price of a garage. You can't afford a shed in London, so people are going out and buying wide beams, putting them on, and living. What's the name of the area in London? Help me out, folks.
Little
Where
Venice.
all the wide beams. Yes, Little Venice.
Yeah.
And they're all going around Little Venice and everything. So perhaps they're putting the price up to put them off. Do you think?
The pictures I've seen, the problems have been triple moored narrowboats.
Yeah, that seems to be the main problem in London.
Yeah, because you can't get a wide beam into London. There's just no room.
It's a bit of a
right.
Bit of a
I've no idea with wide beams. No idea.
You can go down
what was the name of your boat again?
Weir On The Move.
All right.
You can go
I
down
did
that road,
a couple
can't
of
you?
years ago. I followed a wide beam boat along the Grand Union Canal from Norton Junction, heading sort of Milton Keynes way, and it was a couple. I think they were from Australia, and they had just bought this boat, and it was 12 foot wide.
Oof.
And we kept sort of overtaking each other. As I stopped, they came past, and they stopped, but I was behind them for a long time, and taking 12-foot width through some of those narrow bridges, they struggled. They really, really struggled. And there are areas along there where there are narrowboat moorings, and the width of the remaining canal is just sort of wide enough for, you know, wide boat to go through. But you know, if you meet a boat coming the other way, and it's very difficult, you know, coping with a wide beam, as of course you know. But the viewers need to understand that there are different considerations with a wide beam. Obviously, you've got much nicer living accommodation, much better arranged, and so forth. But with the navigation aspects, it can be very tricky. And I was amazed at this boat and how it managed to actually get through some of the bridges. It was 12 foot, and they were regretting it. And I think they were heading to London, but I'm not quite sure what their longer term plans were. But they were struggling. There's no doubt about it.
You're right. We're just going to have to sell the wide beam now.
12 foot makes a heck of a difference. Yeah.
Aren't we? We're just going to have to sell it now. I'm so down on it, this wide beam. I'm just going to have to sell it. I mean, I don't know why we chose the bloody
You're
thing.
fine.
You know?
You're okay with your 11 foot.
I'd quite like to go bigger, actually.
What, Dutch barge?
Dutch barge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the
Really?
Thames, not on the canals.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or the
On the
sea.
Thames? Yeah.
Or the sea.
Yeah. Have you had any amusing incidents with the wide beam? You know,
None that we
in
can
your
talk
travel?
about.
I don't mean in it. I mean with it.
I mean,
Hi, Julie.
we do. I mean, we do get. You know, I mean, there are instances like when we were on the Grand Union going around a bend past Milton Keynes. A narrowboat decided he wasn't going to slow down on a blind bend and decided he was going to speed up and try and ram us. That was quite interesting. I wouldn't call it amusing. But by and large, no, I think people are quite, you know, I mean, we don't really have too many. So we're very considerate as boaters. We make sure that if there's a narrowboat behind us, we pull over. Like, so if we're going into, give you an example, the Cane Hill flight, we were going down the Cane Hill flight. We just entered, I think, the 3rd or 4th lock, and there was a narrowboat behind us and a narrowboat 2 or 3 in front. So we went down and saw the locky and said, hold that narrowboat, we'll let this narrowboat pass so they can double up. And that's what you that's in my opinion, that's where wide beamers sometimes fall down, because if it's just, you know, you're just being a little bit considerate and saying, well, hold on a minute, if we move over, they can pass us, and then they can then double up, and then they can go down
you're not wasting water, are you? You're not wasting water, are you?
You know, we're not holding anybody up, etc., etc. So we try and always think, you know, I'm always of the opinion, it's a bit like, you know, our boat is bigger than the boat coming towards us, therefore what can I do to get out of their way? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it might be right and it might be wrong.
I appreciate that, because if ever I'm down your way and you see chugs coming your way, will you please get out of the way? I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. There's only going to be one winner in that one, isn't there? And it won't be me, will it?
Exactly.
And with your eyes, Gary, you won't see us unless you've got your monocle on.
Mark, now listen, joking aside, I know you've got eyesight issues as well, bless you. And we're both going through it at the moment. So, I mean, people, I think they see me coming on chugs and they think, oh, here's that blind bugger, let's get out of the way. But I can see, I can see these boats coming and I can navigate the waterways. But when I see Weir on the Move, it's funny, Alan and Ian, I might suddenly go really blind. In fact, my torpedo tubes are loaded.
Is that a euphemism? I know what you're going through at the moment, Gary. I know frustration kicks in.
Not at my age, Mark. No, it isn't.
You need to find an outlet.
They've been asking why being made too long in the marina. Yes, they are, Susan. Yeah.
I say Gary's spending too long in the marina. He's got
I'm going stale in here. I am going. I mean, yeah, we hire. We don't live in the marina. I have to say that we hire the mooring space in the marina, but most of the time we're out. But I'm in local waters because I work in the marina, so I'm in local waters. But at the moment, obviously with lockdown and everything, we're allowed to be in here. So that's why we're in here, and we're all going a bit stir crazy. I know there's a couple of boats going out this weekend because they've had enough. They're not going to continue as cruise because nobody can do that. They're just going to move to a water point and a service area and stay there because they've just had enough of being stuck here. So I can understand that. I really can. It's just I think this.
Mark, have you had that problem that Trevor's talking about?
Hiya, Trev.
Well, no,
canoe, haven't we?
Canoes and such like, but. You know, quite often, again, you know, I'll tell you what we did have on the Thames. We were going along the Thames towards Beale Park, which is just past Reading. And it was a hot, sunny day. And there were a couple of girls in an inflatable canoe. And they were off to the side of me. And on the Thames, obviously, you can go a bit faster, about 8 miles an hour. And so we were doing 8 miles an hour. And then the girl suddenly changed direction in front of the boat. So Julie went down the front and shouted at them to move. And they did, and then right at the last minute, they then went back in front of the boat, about 4 foot from the front of the boat, maybe 8 foot, 10 foot. So I slammed it into reverse, and then all I saw was this inflatable canoe wafting down the side with no girls in it. And luckily, they came swimming round this side, and it was a mixture of sheer panic, and I was livid, but sheer panic that I'd done something to them. But there was nothing I could do. They just went straight in front of the boat at the last minute. They were going that way and then just veered straight in front of the boat.
They were playing chicken.
So
dangerous. And they decided right at the last minute they'd just jump out of the boat because otherwise the boat, they were going to get hit. It's so dangerous. That's the thing. We all know how. Yeah.
You just don't stop, can you, quickly?
Yeah,
no.
I've come upon kayakers, but I've not had any problems. They normally get out the way. They wait to one side, and
I wouldn't call them kayakers. I just call them leisure boaters that were out. Yeah. They shouldn't have even been in the blimmin' thing. You know, kayakers generally are pretty good. They know, you know, that they'll hang onto a tree or they'll hang onto the bank or they'll wait. We've never had any actual issues with paddle boarders or canoeists on the canals. It's only on the Thames. It was more like two teenage girls who thought they were out for a fun day at a picnic with an inflatable boat, you know.
I had a close instance on. I was coming back from Llangollen, obviously on the Llangollen, and I was just going along quite merrily, and I could see a boat coming towards me, and it was just me, another boat coming towards me, a reasonable. I can't remember where I was. I think I was going towards the Prees Arm, and it was quite a nice stretch of waterways, just toobling along quite nicely, and I was about, I would say, 40, 50 foot, maybe a little bit more from the boat coming towards me. And suddenly this fella in a canoe came alongside me stern, and I'm like, eh? And I could see there wasn't room for his paddles and his canoe and 2 narrowboats to get through. So I had to slam it in reverse to let him go through. He didn't care. He just didn't care. But he just went. I mean, there was no words said or anything, but he just didn't care.
You find that on the Thames when you see the rowing clubs out and they're in the rowing boats, because they row backwards towards you. They never look. And so we've had about the last time we were on the Thames, we had 2 or 3 instances where they were rowing straight for us, and we were sort of honking the horn and shouting. And also wild swimmers. We had a wild swimmer that was swimming that way and then just changed direction. He had nothing on, no float or illuminous float.
He had nothing on.
He had earplugs in.
He had earplugs in.
So he couldn't hear us.
Early morning, so it was quite dark. Sort of 7 o'clock in the morning.
And he was in the middle of the river.
Middle of the river, and we were right behind him, and we'd slowed down to a crawl, and then he went that way, so we went to go around him, and as we went to go around him, we changed direction, and again, Julie's at the front, splashing the water and trying to get his attention, because he would have just swum straight into the boat.
Do you it's an interesting question. Knowing how much Alan likes tunnels, how do you get on with tunnels? Do you always have to book, or do you have to go and make sure it's clear? How does it work?
We've been through there's a Bruce tunnel here, which is only a little short one. You don't have to book that because you can see the other end. The Blissworth tunnel we've been through, you have to book that. That was an experience. That took 3 days or 4 days for the CRT to come back to us. And then on the return journey, we booked it and they didn't bother turning up. So we had to get them out at a minute's notice because we booked it a weekend in advance for them to come and meet us on a Monday morning, and no one showed up.
When we phoned to book it, the CRT said there isn't anything called the Blissworth Tunnel.
Yeah.
That
was funny.
That's the CRT.
Yeah. They'd lost the Blissworth Tunnel. It's only the second largest wide beam tunnel in the country. They'd lost it. And then the next lady said to us, just go on through. We said, are you sure? Because the sign says we have to book. And she says, no, it's a tunnel. You can go through. She says, no, but we're a wide beam. She goes, yeah, but you can go through. I'm like, I think you'll find that's wrong. So she went away and came back. She said she'd phone us back. But it was just hilarious when they said, no, we can't find the CR tunnel on our system. And I went, it's a bit like Peter Ustinov in One of Our Dinosaurs Is Missing. I said, have you lost the Blissworth tunnel? Bless him.
I think a wide beam is it 48 hours notice you have to give?
Yeah.
And wide beams normally go through at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I think
that's correct. Yeah,
that's right. Obviously, there needs to be a banksman, a guard at the other end of the tunnel to stop narrowboats or any other boats coming in, so that the wide beam can go through from the other end. That's why you have to book. There has to be someone physically stopping boats from coming in the other end whilst your wide beam boat is going through. And recently the CRT have introduced some new rules on the North Oxford. The North Oxford comes down and joins Braunston, and it is a narrow canal, but there is a marina there that has wide beam boats in it. Those wide beam boats, when they come out, they can't head north because they'll come to single width locks, but they can head south. And recently I've noticed the CRT have said that they have got to book as well. Now, I think it was not last year, but the year before, I was coming down the North Oxford and a boat came out of the marina and I saw it side on and I couldn't tell if it was a narrow boat or a wide beam boat. It turned out to be a wide beam boat and it turned left to head down to Braunston, and it was very, very slow. It had many opportunities to pull over to allow a fleet. There was about 10 of us following this boat by the time we got to Braunston, and he chose not to move over. And I did hear later, he had a bit of a reputation, this guy, for not wanting to let narrowboats pass. And it's that sort of behaviour that obviously gives wide beam boaters a bad name and requires the introduction of new rules, so that they now have to give notice if they want to move.
Sorry, just to pick you up on there. Have wide beam boaters got a bad name?
Not, I don't really know many.
I swear those words
not
just
the
left
ones
your
I
lips.
know. They've got a good name.
You're on dangerous ground, Alan.
When I recounted this tale to other narrowboaters, they said, "Oh, that would be so and so." You know, he won't budge.
I think what you'll find, Alan,
it could
in the
be a
world of
narrowboater,
boating,
could be just as awkward.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's the point I was going to make. You'll find it in narrowboating.
We
There are
always
good and
say
bad
that-
in both camps.
Yeah,
Or in
We
boating,
always
there are
say
good and bad.
yeah. We always say boaters are very friendly, and
There's
95,
always
99% of them are, but there's always that odd one that wants to be awkward. It doesn't matter whether you're narrow beam or wide beam or what you are. There's always someone that wants to be awkward. But
I don't care
as the topic
what
was
you're on.
asked, no, but
It
it's
doesn't matter what you're on. I mean, we're all here to enjoy the
water.
water. So
we're
we're all
just
here
trying
to
to
enjoy the
explain to
water and the
viewers that-
waterways. Who cares what you're on? But just have consideration for everyone else. I think that's the main thing. Who cares?
Yeah.
We're just explaining the
As long as
difficulties
it's a
with the
narrowboat,
wide
that's
beam,
all right,
going
isn't it, Al?
through a tunnel. But there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you have to leave the boat for any length of time, narrowboaters will occasionally leave them on the canal or go into a marina. Is same options apply to you? I guess, is that right?
Yeah,
Should
exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
same.
different, really. So it's just
Well, they don't
just
leave them on the moon, Ian.
really, isn't it? Sorry.
They don't leave Ian. They're not going to leave them on the moon, are they, mate? Or interplanetary something extraordinary craft are going
Gary,
to come and.
you are totally wrong there. Perseverance is on Mars.
Oh, you're quite right. So Joe and Michael are on Mars at the moment.
Correct. Yes.
Right.
You've got to be
Okay.
quicker than that.
I'm never going to beat you, am I? All I'm going to say is, what's the name of that packaging thing with a smile? I don't do packaging. What's it called? Amazon thing, whatever it's called. He got me the other day. I was doing a live on my Facebook, and this one particular week I was doing a live, and this lovely lady sent me some packages, and I was doing a live when they actually got delivered. It was an Amazon delivery. And then, was it the day after, a couple of days later, there was a knock on the boat when I was going live. I thought, what on earth's going on here? And I went to the back of the boat and there was an envelope with a smile. I thought, what on earth? Ian had sent me a Towpath newspaper. He hadn't sent it me. He just run from his boat and pretended there was a delivery for me.
It was a good
I'm going
one,
to get you
wasn't
back
it?
for that. Not really.
You see, Alan, you miss out on all this fun being the over top.
I do indeed, yeah. But I stay sane to some extent.
Basically, it's boredom.
Bored? You can't
Yeah.
be bored. Plenty to do in life.
Yeah, but not stuck in the marina. But we'll get out. We'll get it back on the water. Because are you still locked in with your? Because weren't you in a 15-mile section? Oh, just a minute. I've got to stop everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Hi. Oh, hi, Steve. Hiya, Steve. Can you hear us, matey?
Hi, Steve.
Hi,
Hiya,
Steve.
Steve probably hasn't got a signal, but
Hi
mate,
everyone, good to see you all. I don't know if you can hear me.
Just about.
mate. Oh, bless him.
Oh, signal's gone.
Oh, bless him.
It's nice to see him.
Wow, that was a bit of a shock. see him suddenly turn up on the screen.
Yeah.
He's looking
Yeah.
well. He's looking better.
And
I
he's
think
trying to go now.
he's lost his signal. Look. Oh man, wasn't that lovely, Steve? If you can still hear us, mate, that was wonderful. Just to see you, that was
Brilliant, Steve.
brilliant. Thank you very much. God, that's really going to upset us all now. That is.
Well, that's
How do
me
you
a
feel
cabbage.
about that? Eh? I don't think he's
That's me a cabbage.
Yeah, I've totally lost it now. Let's try and sort this out again. Oh dear.
Oh wow.
Right. Someone say something funny now. We need to get out of this. Yeah. What were we saying? Yeah. Gosh.
I
Steve,
think we were talking
mate,
about where lockdown was for us in the 15 miles that we were in.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, because you had a blockage, didn't you? A lock at either end or something?
Yeah, I mean, there's been quite a few winter stoppages, but they've all sorted themselves out now, haven't they?
A lot of them have been put on hold.
But of course, out on the canal, we're not allowed to move at the moment because of COVID. So we're only allowed to move for essential services, really, like water, isn't it?
Yeah.
I should have said earlier when I. Sorry, Karen.
So we're locked up in a place called Great Bedwin, which is really beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah,
really
stunning.
Beautiful village in Wiltshire. So it's really nice here. We can't complain.
Oh no, definitely not.
Sorry about that, folks. That got me a bit.
I was going to say, I should have said earlier that the boat I assisted through Watford Locks had obviously got the right permissions from CRT and was allowed to move, hence why a couple of volunteers were asked to go down there specially. What we haven't said is what the news is today from CRT regarding yesterday's announcements. And
right, have you heard?
basically, they have said that come the 29th of March, they might allow some local movement. That hasn't really been defined, but perhaps someone like myself, for example, might be able to go out.
Hang on.
Oh, here comes Steve again.
Sorry, Steve, mate.
That's it. That's a bit. Sorry about that. The internet's not very good here, so it's breaking up a little bit. So I'm only going to be on for a little while. But you're not going to keep the old dog away from my forum. I know we go narrowboating, mates.
Oh, God bless you.
So I'm fine. Just let everybody know I'm absolutely fine. I am having some problem with oxygen levels at the moment, hence this paraphernalia around my nose is to try and keep my oxygen sats up. But other than that, I'm doing fine. I feel great. And I just want to add thank you to everybody for all your well wishes and prayers. It's meant so much. And when I first came in, I've never been so scared in all my life. But to have all those well wishes and prayers made it so much easier. So God bless you all, folks. I really appreciate it.
God bless you too, mate.
We're with you, Steve. We're with you, mate.
Yeah. It's
We're
good. The
fighting
nurses
together, mate.
Yes. Yeah, the nurses here have been absolutely astounding. Their devotion to me and the other patients, it just shows no bounds. I mean, they've really let me sit up and have all the lights on and everything just so that I can talk to you. So it's really good. And I've been watching you from the beginning, and it's been a really good show. It's nice to see Mark and Julie there. Welcome, you two.
Thank you.
So forgive me if I pause every now and again. I've got to try and take some breaths to get this air into me. But I think I'm going to drop out now because I can only talk for a little while. But I just wanted to say hi to everyone and just reassure you I will be coming home. They've told me that. I think I'm over the worst, but I've still got it's a long road to go yet. So
Amy Jo's
God
there
bless
for you,
everybody.
Steve.
Yeah, and Ian, by the way,
Yes.
that crack
Great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
cover.
Sorry, Steve. Yeah, you take care, mate. I didn't know what you said.
Amazing, mate. It really does set the boat off.
All right, mate. Mate, do you just go and get
Yes.
yourself better?
Sam,
We'll be here when you come home. We'll be here.
Oh,
God.
thanks for making me big there, Ian. Yeah,
Steve,
just when I'm a cabbage, you make me the biggest one. Thanks for that. Yeah.
No, I'm not sorry. That I couldn't. I had to bring
Oh,
Steve on.
wow.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Do you know what? That fella is just a bloody star. When I was going through it, he helped me out with Malcolm as well. But him and Chris, mustn't forget Chris, they helped me out through a very difficult time. And them, honestly, that man is a star. I've just got to say, star.
Yeah, let's not get upset because I
No,
think I'm not far off it either.
Well, I'm a wuss. Everyone knows I'm a wuss.
Yeah. Right. That's
Shall I
really.
Shall I go back to what I was?
Go on, Alan. Carry on.
Yeah, I'll go back to what I was saying. But it's great to see Steve there, and we wish him all the best. I was just saying about the CRT announcement today regarding boating, that on the 29th of March, they're saying some local movements will be allowed, which might mean, depending on, for me, what the marina lockdown rules are, because they don't always tally, that I might be able to go out cruising for a few miles and come back again and so forth. Because I wouldn't meet anyone out on the canals or do anything. It would just be me and the boat. But from the 12th of April, they're suggesting that people will be free to cruise.
Whoa.
With the,
I think
with
Mark
the
and Julie have
that it's
froze on
limited.
my screen, Ian.
No, we're just still.
Yeah.
No, they're still there. They're still there.
Yeah, so on the 12th of April, they're saying that boaters should be able to cruise, but within the restrictions, in that it can only be a family unit on the boat or unit and a bubble. You can't mix families, but they are sort of saying, the suggestion at the moment is the canals will be open, and then there'll be further lifting of restrictions, presumably in May and June. But so we know that we're stuck for at least to the 29th of March. A little bit of movement then, and from the 12th of April, we should be able to move about more freely.
Be lovely.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to it.
That's positive, isn't it? And by then, Steve will be back with us, and we'll be off on our travels all together, I guess.
Yeah. It was really good to see him, wasn't it? I mean, it was really, really good to see him. That was amazing. Amazing.
I know. That was totally amazing and good.
I mean, Ian and myself have talked. We wondered, we thought, I mean, we know how poorly he's been, and luckily it looks like he's turned a corner. And Ian and myself have spoke, haven't we, mate? And we've said, I wonder if he will. I wonder if he will. I knew well, secretly, I think we thought he would, didn't we? Because he's that type of bloke.
I think also for all those people watching, there is actually a very strong bond now between the four of us on Go Narrowboating, and it's just something where all our personalities have clicked, and we do not exactly think like one, but we act together over all these live streams, and we work really hard for them individually. And to have these fantastic guests like we have on every month, like we've got Julie and Mark with us today, you know, we just got to thank you guys for joining us, and all our other guests that were with us, and those that are to come. You know, it is really a strong bond on the Go Narrowboating team.
Yeah,
and
but I think in particular for me, I think that's very nice of Ian to say that, because the obviously Gary, Steve and Ian are in the same marina. They actually know each other from meeting each other. I've not met any of them.
You will.
I got to know. I got to know Ian
Alan,
first, I would say. Ian was chatting to me a long while back about when he was buying his boat and so forth. So I had that contact with Ian. And obviously, since Go Narrowboating, I'm getting to know Steve and Gary a lot better. Although I've always used to look in Gary's videos and so forth. Don't always comment, but I do look in. The same with Mark and Julie. Don't always comment, but I do look in. I
always find with other people's vlogs, I always find it embarrassing commenting on other people's vlogs.
It's awkward, isn't it?
I don't know why, but I do. I always find it slightly embarrassing. So I watch every single damn vlog that's out there.
Yeah.
But I very rarely comment, and I tend to comment more if I'm on Facebook. I'll say something about, I watched your vlog last night and it was really good, or I don't tend to comment on the vlogs. And it's also partly because I watch it on the TV rather than on the computer. And on the you can't really comment on the TV.
It's interesting you mention that, because I've had a number of people say to me recently, I can't comment because I'm watching it on the TV. There's no way of doing that. So
I think now on some TVs you can, but most of them you can't. I've heard of people on my channel, you can do on some TVs, but I haven't got a clue. You
can like and subscribe on the telly. You can like and subscribe, no problem.
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting. Now, Mark and Julie, you'll be interested in this comment. I'll explain why. This is a conversation Gary and I had over a scotch the other night. Wasn't there, Gary?
I can't read it. Hold on. Oh, yes. Well, isn't that a coincidence?
That is such a coincidence, because when our mate Steve's back with us, and not until, we're going to try and put a date in the diary where we can all come down and meet up with Alan. And we're thinking of a Go Narrowboating live Barbie in the summer, and any other vlogger can come along and join us. So we're just thinking about that at the moment. So Mark and Julie, just keep watching, because we'll let you know, obviously. And
that'd be fab.
That would be fantastic.
I mean, it might be easier for us to go down near Rugby, near Yelvertoft, because we realise that most of the vloggers are in the south. And there's only virtually us. Well, there are a few up here, but I think most of you are in the south. There used to be a vloggers barbecue every year, and I've had a few invites to them, but unfortunately I've never attended them. I had every intention of going, but things came up and I never went. So it'd be great. That would be really good if we could organise like a vloggers barbie and put it out there. And I think the viewers like to watch it as well. You know,
we'd stream it live. Yeah, we'd stream it live. Sorry, Mark.
That was where I first clapped eyes on Alan's magnificent beard.
Yeah,
for real.
That was 2 years ago.
I was in awe. It was like meeting Zeus. I was in awe. It's like something from Jason and the Argonauts.
What's his name that was in Flash Gordon with the beard and a big voice? Like this?
On Ming the Merciless.
Yeah,
there's nothing like Ming the Merciless. You mean the Brian Blessed character, don't you?
That's right, Brian Blessed. That's it.
Oh, Brian Blessed.
Mark.
I don't know Flash Gordon.
Fantastic.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Talking about gentlemen with beards, sorry, but the name's gone. But you had some correspondence some while ago, Alan, with Terry Waite. That's right.
I did, yes.
Have you heard any more of Terry Waite?
Yes, he was in touch a few weeks back, actually. I don't often hear from him. I don't know if many of our viewers will know who Terry Waite is. Certainly, if you're UK-based, you will do, if you're certainly of our sort of age. But going back 30-odd years, he was in captivity in the Lebanon. He was the Archbishop of Canterbury's envoy. I hope I'm getting this right. But he was an envoy for the church, and he was doing sterling work. And he went out there, and he was captured. And he was in captivity for about 4 years. It's interesting because at the time he was released, he flew back into this country. I was visiting my parents at lunchtime, and the television was on for the news, and it was announced that he was going to come back, and they weren't sure whether he would speak to anyone, but a microphone was set up for him, and he came off the plane and he walked up to the microphone and he gave the best oration I've ever heard in my life. He spoke for about 20 minutes, word perfect. It was absolutely marvelous, and I've never forgotten it. He was always although I'm not a religious person, he was always someone that I very much admired for the work that he did. And a couple of months back, he made a comment. Well, Terry Waite, it could be a popular name for all I know, but the picture made me think it was him, and I did ask, and it did turn out to be him. And it was when I did the thing on the crosswords recently that we had a bit of an exchange. So I don't know if Terry watches these sort of things, but if you are watching, Terry, all the best to you. It's great to have you.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
And,
I remember him well.
Remarkable man. Remarkable man.
Yeah. I once had a telephone conversation with Norman Wisdom.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm envious. Mark, because he's a hero of mine.
Back in my old days as an estate agent, boo, I'm dead. I was selling a house for a lady who was his personal assistant, and she was, because of his age, he lived, I think, on the Isle of Man or something.
Yeah.
And so she was selling her house to go and live in his house to look after him permanently. And she was selling a house in Southsea in Portsmouth. And I had to ring her about something to do with the house sale. So I rang the number where she was staying, and this little voice went, "Hello?" And I was like, "Is that Norman?" And he went, "Yes." And I was having a conversation with Norman Wisdom. Well, anyway, I'm a massive Norman Wisdom fan. So I said to her, her name was Anne, I said, "Is there any way I can get a signed photograph of Norman Wisdom?" Well, he carries around a caricature drawing of him. And so he signed that. Well, anyway, I come back into the office one day and someone said, "You've missed it." And I said, "What?" "Norman Wisdom came into the office to meet you." And he'd come over from the Isle of Man to pick her up and her belongings and take her back to the Isle of Man. And he'd come personally. And she said, "You must swing past the estate agents because Mark is a real fan." And I was out on an appointment. Unbelievable.
I believe he's still with us, isn't he, Mark? He's still with us, I think.
I thought
he has. I know at the end of
he was in his 90s back. He was in his 90s back then.
He was in Lytham St Anne's, wasn't he? Then towards the end, I'm sure he moved to Lytham.
Yeah, I think he did. I think because he went into an old.
I think he went to Lytham St Anne's, or around that area. Oh, it's fantastic.
I've also held a £1 note from the Great Train Robbery.
Mm.
That was interesting. I sold a house for a guy who knew Ronnie Biggs. Met him in Brazil.
How did you give it back? Pound came from there
because he had like a photo album, and inside were 3 £1 notes, and one of them was signed by Ronnie Biggs, and it was basically, he wrote on it, "Yes, this is from the Great Train Robbery. All the best, Ronnie Biggs." And he took it to the post office and had it verified, and the serial numbers on the notes were a part of the stash that they got. And he met Ronnie Biggs when he was out in Brazil in the Navy. And so he got chatting to him, and Ronnie Biggs gave them to him as a gift. And he visited him a couple of times. And he also knew Mad Frankie Fraser, who used to run with the Richardson gang in the 60s. And I said, "I'm only selling your house if you get me Mad Frankie Fraser's autograph." So he had a picture of Mad Frankie Fraser in front of the Blind Beggar pub. And if anybody knows the Cray history, that's where I think it was Reggie Cray or Ronnie Cray shot George Cornell. And it said on it, "To Mark Diamond Geezer, all the best, Mad Frankie Fraser." And he also put an inscription in his book, Mad Frank's Diary of London. So I've got that as well, with the big inscription from Mad Frankie Fraser. So, yeah. Can
I just say, Mark, with all the people you know, I'm never going to pick an argument with you, my friend.
They're all dead, Gary. They're all dead.
Now, that gentleman there, Ian, can Tracy and I come along? That gentleman there, I'm glad you put that comment up. When I did the Shropshire Union with Malcolm, right? If anybody follows me, I did the Shropshire Union down to Otherly. I did the top end with Steve and Chris on Amy Joe, and then I did the bottom end with Malcolm on Westmoreland. And on the way back, you know, with vloggers, you sort of get recognised when you're out on the cut, and it's all the time. It's like hello, and we love it. And don't get me wrong, it's lovely. And Malcolm and I moored up in Norbury Junction on the way. They're getting out of your way. That's why.
Nobody recognises us. I keep getting called
But
Alan.
coming back, we moored up in Norbury Junction, and Malcolm and I said, "Let's go for a quiet pint." Now it was really hot in the day. It was really hot. So let's just go for a quiet pint. Let's just find a quiet corner and just have a pint. Right? Okay, let's go. So we goes in the pub and we gets our beers, and we goes in the beer garden. Because obviously I've got Chippendale, so I had to be outside. And there was like a 6-foot hedge on one side and a brick wall. It was a porch of the pub on the other side, and like a king and queen seat. So we both sat there. It was great. We sat there with our beers. We went, "Cheers, Malcolm." And he went, "Cheers, Gary." And we're just about to get a slurp, and this fella appeared with a greyhound. "I know you," he said. Oh, here we go. It turns out now they're two of my best friends, Simon and Tracy, and I've been to stay with them. They're just wonderful people, Simon and Tracy. So hello. Sorry to bore everyone with that conversation, but
Gary,
we ended
I don't think they recognise you from your vlogs. I think it was because you had your shorts on and they realised that you had heron's legs. And they went, "That's the heron's leg man. That's the guy with the heron's legs."
They recognise my knees.
Yeah, your pasty white sticks. Your 2 lollipop sticks.
Yeah, they'll recognise them. Yeah, I am like a couple of not lollipop sticks, because they're quite wide at one point. One of them fizzlers.
Twiglets with all the coating sucked off.
Yeah. Me two of them.
Wobbly knees.
But I tell you what, fantastic people. That's Simon and Tracy. So sorry about that. I interrupted, but I just saw his name there.
Do you not find that?
We were talking about Norman Wisdom just now. I mean, I've been on the telly with Michael Portillo. So there you go.
You weren't on his train, were you, Alan?
No, he was on mine.
Were you wearing pink trousers like him, Alan?
He was wearing a red jacket, I think, on that event.
Yellow trousers.
He visited Great British Railway Journeys. He visited Western Zorn and Pumping Station Museum, and we featured on there. So I met him. I've met quite a few people over the years. Yeah.
You know Sean Williams, I think Sean Williams, the news reader, broadcaster.
Yep.
Sometimes
I know what you're going to say here now.
I've had dinner with her.
Oh,
have you?
Yeah, and about 300 other people.
I thought for a minute you were going to say you were eating out of the bins around the back of her house. She didn't know about it, but her salmon leftover was wonderful.
She's
Julie's been on Blue Peter. Julie's been on Blue Peter.
Yeah, I was on Blue Peter when I was younger.
Yeah.
Where are you? Did you get a badge?
I did, and Mark sold it for £12.
No.
I was clearing out some old stuff. And I said to her, "Do we really need this Blue Peter badge?" She said, "I said, well, stick it on eBay and flog it. 12 quid we got for it. Best 12 quid I've ever earned." Never crossed your wife's childhood dreams.
That's priceless, Mark. How could you do that?
It wasn't a gold one, Gary. It wasn't a gold one.
It doesn't matter. I'd be happy with just the plain one.
Julie,
Brilliant.
what did you have to do to earn it?
I was a dancer at the time, so
Exotic dancer.
I was a cheerleader.
This is Blue Peter, Mark.
It's called Blue Peter for a reason.
Well, it's still nautical, isn't it? Blue Peter's still nautical. So
it's naughty.
Yeah.
Jenny's telling us she was on top of the pops 3 times.
Who was on top of the pops?
I wonder, or as a guest in the audience?
No, Jenny Bailey, that is.
Oh, Jenny.
Jenny Bailey.
Yeah, Jenny's a subscriber. I know Jenny. Yeah.
Are there any questions coming through? Because we can't see them here.
No, I'm sorry.
Neither can I.
I've forgotten that.
Nigel Hook has asked, can we start from the beginning? Because he missed the start.
Yeah, because he's missed up.
That's my mate, Nigel.
It's okay. I'll just do a brief paraphrase of what's happened so far. Gary's cried, and I've talked about Norman Wisdom. There you go, in a nutshell.
And And Steve appeared. Steve was
Oh,
on.
and Steve appeared. Yes.
Yeah. Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
Nigel he's a Mora here as well. He knows what a wuss I am, so he can accept that. Nigel and Jill, lovely couple, yeah.
Now, I suppose the thing, Mark and Julie, is, do you get gifts from your subscribers, or is it just
I knew this was
Gary
coming.
and Alan?
I'm going now.
Well, we've had one gift in our entire 3 years, and that one gift we got last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that was some chicken Naga, Bangladeshi Naga pickle, which you put into curry to make it Naga chicken, a really spicy chicken. And then lo and behold, this week, and I won't tell you what it is because we're going to reveal it in a vlog, I think tomorrow or the day after. That's a train, by the way. Lo and behold, in the post, we receive a package, which we opened yesterday, and it is, I'm blown away by this package.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, where did this come from? And with a lovely letter written in it as well. So we're gonna seal it back up and do an unboxing. I know it sounds a bit false, but we're gonna do an unboxing properly for the camera tomorrow to show what it is.
What we tend to find is, because we obviously haven't got a base, nobody really knows our address, but what we do have instead is a post restante address at a post office. And so every once a week we go down to the post office and collect our post. That's the only way we can get post, really, isn't it?
What we've done is, if it's okay, we've used Alan's address. So anything that comes addressed to Alan the Beard Davis, it's at Yelvertoft Marina. No, Alan, what I suggest you do is do not open the packages, because some of them will be slightly risque.
Some of them.
And be careful when you use the knife, because you might puncture it.
Mark, what you don't know is Alan had a package turn up for Gary there.
Have you got a new hose yet, Gary?
I have. No, it's not another. No, I actually. Do you know what? I've been blown away. And Mark and Julie, I think a lot of people know we have a practice a few days before on all this. But I did, and for the life of me, I didn't know it was going to get brought up. I had to buy a new hose. I put a vlog out because my other one had split, and they're not as easy to connect or repair. They're not like a normal hose, these expandable things. So I ordered a new hose. It had split. I ordered a new hose and I got one delivered. And my vlogs are running a little bit behind. And I ordered a new hose, and I've got my new hose. And I've had offers of people. They wanted to get me a hose, bless them. And I appreciate this. I'm fine. Let me just say this now. I'm good. But this one gentleman, it was really touching. His wife and himself used to watch my vlogs. Well, he still watches them. But sadly, he's lost his wife. And he had some money off his wife. And he was saying that how happy he would be if his wife would be, rather, if I would let him buy me a hose. I'd already got one, so obviously I'm fine, thank you very much. But it's just so touching. I mean, yeah, the gifts, but they just mean a lot. I mean, Alan appreciates it with his gloves, and I mean, people that watch my gloves, I've been blessed, and people have sent me such lovely presents. I had a Pandora's bear. I've had grippers for me boots. I've had a bottle of gin.
Did he say
Result.
grippers?
I've been blessed with some lovely gifts, and I thank you all very much. I'm fine, honestly. I am fine, but thank you. And they do.
Can I just say, Gary, just to jump in, can I just say we're not. We desperately need more stuff. I'm joking.
Send them to Alan at Yelvertoft.
Yeah, Alan the Beard at Yelvertoft. That's all you have to put on the envelope. Nothing else. It will get to him. His beard is legendary.
Yeah, but it was quite touching. That was.
Can we say though how wonderful all the viewers and subscribers are? I mean, the encouragement we get, the comments we all get is just incredible. And you almost feel like you become friends with these people
Yeah.
as
You
well.
know them by name.
You know
Very
that
much so,
Yeah.
even
You
though
do, Mark.
you know you might not have met each other, but you really do feel connected to.
I mean,
them.
Alan was talking about Terry Waite, and would it surprise you to know that the Archbishop of Canterbury actually follows our vlog?
Really?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and he quite regularly contacts us. Tina Turner, she contacts us all the time. Oh dear, she's one proud Mary.
But you're right, though,
Trevor's
Julie. It does.
mentioned,
They become like your friends, and I think during the lockdown, a lot of people like. Well, I know you two, you have each other, but Alan and Ian and myself, we're on our own, and it does get difficult. And there's a lot of people living in houses and boats that are on their own, and I know they're watching the vlogs, and we've said it before. They help them through, and it's yeah, we do the vlogs. And we do them because we enjoy doing them, and we do them because we're helping them. But you have to remember, you lot that watch us, the subscribers and the viewers, you're helping us more, because without your comments and your input, what would be the point of doing them? So it just, we're helping each other out, because otherwise, if we didn't have our vlogs to do, we'd be going insane. It helps us as well. So, you know, it's a mutual thing. I think we're helping each other through this.
Yeah.
So
I get some really lovely comments from my viewers. There's just too many of them to mention, but I do periodically thank everyone in the vlogs and that, because it does mean a lot to me. And there are people now all over the world, in far-flung places such as Australia and New Zealand and across the pond. There's so many of them, and it means a great deal to me. And as you say, they become like friends you've never met, but
they do.
You have this banter and exchange messages and so forth, and it really is very, very lovely. And I think that's why when someone sends you a card or a little gift or something, it does mean so much. The appreciation for what we're doing. It certainly means a lot to me.
It just blows you away, Alan, and it really does. It just knocks your socks off. It could be the smallest little thing, but it's nice to know somebody on the other side of the world is thinking of you. I can't read this. This is bound to be taking a mick out of me.
We've just seen that.
Just tell them to walk on by.
Dion Warwick. Yeah. Anyway, can I just ask Mark and Julie? And I know it's a sensitive subject, and I don't want to upset you, but obviously I've got my two dear lads on here, Chip and Dale, and sadly you lost Eric, and I know you still miss him. I know you still miss him because they're members of the family, and quite rightfully so. But will you have another dog on your boat, do you think?
We think the answer is yes. But I'll be honest, I said to Julie, and I don't know whether I think you agree that, and we'll get another dog when I can say his name without getting upset.
Yeah.
Because I still sit and look at because we've got his ashes on the boat. And it's silly, isn't it? It's like when he died, we couldn't leave. We were in lockdown and we were allowed to leave, but we stayed an extra 2 weeks because we felt we couldn't leave until we got his ashes back onto the boat. Otherwise, we were effectively leaving him behind.
Yeah, quite right.
Because, he's already gone, but we need his ashes on the boat.
It's not daft. It's not daft, Mark. They're members, and anybody that loves animals, they're members of the family. That's not. I can relate to that. And
you talk to them and you give them silly nicknames. Normal. I mean, Eric was never called Eric. He was always, Fat Lump, or he was, Chunky, or I never called him by his name. But it's just weird. You talk to them all the time as if they're human beings. So I said we'd get another dog. I think we're in agreement that we'd get another dog when we think we can.
It could be a while. So you would have another one, but it's going to take time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
of
course,
yeah.
And the problem is obviously
people, right?
Yeah,
and also the cost of dogs as well. I mean, I'd have to give up a kidney to get a dog now, and I've only got one left.
Because of lockdown, they've increased, haven't they? All dogs, about £2,500 for a dog at the moment. If you buy one, and obviously we're quite interested in getting a rescue, aren't we?
I've got a dog snatching. We're going to be lurking around.
I know Ian. I know Ian was thinking about it, and I know there was Ian didn't get scammed. He's very computer literate and he knows all about technology and everything, so he didn't get scammed. But for lesser people, there was a scam, wasn't it, Ian, that you were involved in? With a dog?
Lovely
Was
little
it you buy a dog and they send you a cat?
No, no, but they suddenly went quiet when I started asking the price, and they said, "Don't worry, you'll get the dog." And I thought,
Oh dear.
blocked.
They were probably stealing them to order.
Yeah.
I was worried about that, yeah. But I think once the lockdown's over, there's going to be an awful lot of dogs, sadly, going into for rehoming. Sad as that may be, so maybe that'll be the time. Either that, or I've got to find myself a woman, one of the two. But dogs
Well,
can't.
whatever you do, Ian, when you write that Lovely Hearts column, that advert, just don't confuse the two, because you were going to get some abuse.
Ian, can I tell them?
I'm looking for a log. No, not. I'm looking for a dog that can work a lock.
Alan, are you not a dog man or an animal man?
No, I haven't got a dog. No.
So I know you haven't got a dog.
No,
Would you
I'm not
not?
planning to get one.
No.
We had a dog as a family, so I have the experience of dogs, but no, I don't. I wouldn't suit me. I don't think.
No.
Too much of a tie.
They are a tie, but they're also company, I think.
Yeah.
And you don't get lonely because the boaters are really lovely people. But it would be nice to be able to share this life with someone or some.
Yeah.
Well, all I was going to say, Alan, is if you do fancy a dog, I know where there are 2 Chihuahuas that we can have stolen to order.
No chance.
Yeah, we can have them stolen to order.
No chance.
Many's the time we've watched your vlog, and I've said to Julie, I love his dogs.
Yeah,
are absolutely wonderful.
I tell you what, though, they're just characters, and what I put on the vlog, that is genuinely first thing in the morning. I don't stage it. It's I come out the bedroom and I walk in here. I haven't got a clue where they are. I don't know what they're going to do, where they are, or nothing. And it's genuine. That's what they are. I mean, they're both out here now. They've just come out of their pit. I don't know whether you can see them there. Can you see them?
Oh, yes.
The problem is, Mark and Julie, that if he lets them out of the boat and they're free to walk down the jetty, they make a bean straight for mine. And they come on my boat.
Do you feed them?
Eh?
They know Ian's boat. Well, they know Ian's boat now, because Ian and myself, quite legally, folks, we're in a bubble, me and Ian.
I thought he was going to say relationship.
No.
The laws have changed. No. We've relaxed on that kind of thing now, Gary.
No, that's the wrong channel. There are other channels for that. But they know it as the biscuit boat, because I always say we're going on the biscuit boat, and literally I jump off the back of the boat and Chip and Dale trot along, and they're in front of me, and they'll go straight down Ian's pontoon, jump on his boat, and they're at his door. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
Right.
They love
it.
We're
coming close to the end of our time, guys. So it's time to start winding up. So do each of you want to say something before we go?
Can I start?
Yes.
That's the words.
I just want to say it's been lovely talking to you, Mark and Julie. It's been really great to talk to you. And thanks for coming on. And also, if Steve is watching, well done, mate.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah. And I'd like to second and third that motion about Mark and Julie, and particularly about Steve. Hope you have a quick recovery, and be good to see you again.
And we'd like to say thank you for having us. And again, obviously, it was good to see Steve. And obviously, we don't know him as well as you guys do, but we do follow, obviously, the vlogs, and we follow the Facebook feeds and so on for the various groups, Narrowboat Tales and Chuggerbugs. So we do get, updated on what his situation is. And so it does look like he's on the recovery and he's going to make it back. So
it's good news.
Very good news.
And of course, we want to thank everyone for watching tonight and joining us. I hope you've had a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Yeah,
all.
and I'd like to thank Mark and Julie for coming on and for 20 minutes. And I'm glad you stayed, because after Steve's appearance, we would have been right blubbering and what's it something.
I was.
You have been great guests again. Thank you so much for coming on. To my co-buddies there, it's been a hard one for us, this one, because we're missing part of our team. It's like losing your right hand. Steve, if you're still watching, God bless you, mate. We'll be here when you come back next month. You'll be aboard with us, and we're going to look forward to that. And to everybody who's taken the time out to watch part of all of this live stream tonight, thank you very much. Thank you indeed.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, that's it.
Take
See you
care.
next month.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Cheers.
Take care.
Quiet now. Quiet.